Tings, episode 4. We've got a very, very special guest. We've got Mr Leeds today, Sanchez Paynes. Welcome, fam. You good?
Thank you for having me, bro.
No problem. Anytime. So, the reason why Sanchez is a very special guest, not only has he done a lot in his career so far, he's put on a lot of people in the area. He's put on a lot of events in the area, and he's played for our famous football team as well. So, Mr Leeds.
Rep Leeds in every way, shape or form I possibly could, if I'm honest.
Hey.
I'm proud of it, so.
It's the main thing, that's
Yeah.
the main thing. But yeah, let's get into it then. So, with this one, we'll start off at the home base. We'll start off with your football career and stuff.
Okay.
So, you played for Leeds.
Yeah.
You played for Stockport.
Yeah.
County. You played for Bradford. Park Avenue.
Yeah.
You played for Frickley.
Yeah.
Can't see a little bit on there. But you played for Garforth Town as well. And you played for...
What else was I missing? Played for Ossett Town, played for Ossett Albion. Yeah, Matt the Garforth. Played for Goole, currently at Goole now. Played for Pickering. So I've kind of found my way around the non-league. I was at Doncaster briefly for a little bit. And even travelled abroad and was in Norway for a month or so.
Yeah.
So I've travelled around when it comes to football.
Well travelled.
Yeah.
Now, what was it like playing at all them different types of clubs?
Well,
you've gone from like county level, League One, and Championship, and Premier League. We'll put Leeds in the Premier League. You don't know. Coming back up this year.
They're going to need to be 100%, bro. But it's amazing. So football for me started off as a hobby. I had too much energy as a kid, and my mum, dad and uncle basically said, let's try and put it into something positive. What can we do? Went and played football. Turns out I was good at it. And then the progression happened so naturally. I know a lot of times young men always want to be footballers, and sometimes even their dads, etc., push them into it. Mine was literally by accident. I loved playing the game. I went and played for trials for Leeds City Boys, which is your county team. So I went and did that. Me, Andre Wisdom, I think John Hines and Kadeen Thomas was at the trials as well, a few other people. And me and Dre got in. From that, it was the best season that Leeds City Boys has ever had. We won 2 leagues and 3 cups and basically ripped everything apart. So after that season, at least 10 people went on trial for academies.
That's it.
And that's where I was pulled up. I was pulled up by Leeds United to go to a thing called the Shadow Squad. It's just once a week. Again, didn't think nothing of it. Trained at 4 parts. Just thought, wow, this is it. I feel like I've made it. And then I remember like a month in, just thinking it's Friday football, I got a letter saying, like, Leeds United Academy have invited you. But I was like, Mum, what's this? I don't even know what's going on.
I was already doing that.
I swear that, because obviously going from playing at certain place to Thorpe Arch, thought I've made it then. Then Leeds United, 6-week trial, 3 weeks in, got signed age 12, and then I made the natural progression all the way up through the ranks, and it was one of the best few years of my life. I feel like my development as a young boy into a man was helped so much with Leeds United Academy and its experiences that although I never got to, be in the first team prominently as much as I feel like I may have deserved and wanted to be, it's still something that a small percentage of guys ever get to experience.
Exactly, you made it from the point where everybody is to the big leagues, you get me? The dream, you pretty much played out your dream. And obviously, I understand, because obviously I watched one of your prior interviews to this. Well, one of the interviews, the TV program, but we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I was watching that, and obviously you heard, it wasn't like, how can I explain it now? You wasn't upset, but you was more just like, like down about it. Like,
it was
like, because in that thing they were saying the manager changed within like the first month.
Yeah.
And then from there, the other manager didn't really play you as much from there, and disheartened. That's the word.
Literally that. So what happened is I was like the star player coming through the academy. There was a few of us, but I was definitely up there. And I was going for England trials. I won the player of the tournament out of like 1,000 players, and I was just bossing it, but loving it. I got on with everyone. Then I signed a big 3-year professional contract at the age of 15. That you don't usually get that until you're 18 and above. But I got that early, and it kicked in when I was 16, 17, etc. But I was on my way to going through. Then Gary McAllister, who signed me, he got sacked, and then when the next manager came in, the whole ethos changed. Like, as obviously with every manager, they've got their style of playing and they've got how they work, and this manager's objective, which fair enough is a business, to steady the ship, he brought in a lot of older players, and the younger players didn't really get much of an opportunity. Ones did here and there when needed, but actually viewing the young players as the next ones to push through, that wasn't his forte. So I was stuck there with a big contract and nowhere to go.
Yeah.
And what was really hurtful at the time is because, how it was communicated to me. It was that there's nothing here for you. But I was like, but I'm still the best player in training every day.
Yeah.
I'm still scoring goals and stuff, and I'm still playing and doing well. So don't tell me it's my ability. If you say my face doesn't fit or fine. Don't tell me I'm not good enough. And then there's also the structure was really different. So there was under 16s, kind of under 18s, and then reserves, and then first team. But what happens is the first team that didn't used to play the matches used to take up all the spots in the reserves. The under 18s had 16s playing up, so there was nothing for the gap of me and my age to play in, because there was no under 21s or under 23s. So now there's 16s, 18s, 21s, 23s, sometimes reserves, and then first team. So there's opportunities for you to keep developing. Whereas for me, there was about a year where I think I hardly played any games whatsoever. I tried to go out on loan. They blocked a lot of moves for me to go to certain level teams.
So how does that part work? So like when you go out on loan, do you request that I want to go play for this team, or do you request to go out on loan and they pick a team for you to?
So I had an agent at the time that was trying to work for me to go out to certain places, but Leeds United were saying no to certain places, and the people that were making the decisions are the ones that had whatever against me. And I had opportunities to go to some really decent level stuff. And it turns out that I had to just take kind of what I was given at one point. It then finally got to the point where I could start going on loan, start trialing wherever I wanted with a view to me to leave. But then things just went wrong from that point. At that point, I've not played football for so long. It's just been, I've been literally driving to Thorpe Arch, training, being, again, my opinion, one of the best players there. But even the players at the time will tell you that literally it's disheartening for them to see that they're progressing when they know that I was always... I had a point to prove, so I'd be the hardest worker on purpose, I'd be the loudest on purpose, I'd be team camaraderie on purpose, I wouldn't spoil a session, I'd be the best professional ever, just so they couldn't say anything, but yet they still did. Not in. I was training with 2 foreigners and 2 15-year-olds that came in for the day. So that match was here, I was training here, and the first team was here. So luckily, the first team, they had like, let's say 4 players that wanted to stay out and do a bit more training. So they ran over and they saw us first because we was in the middle of them. So they was like, wait, we need 2 players to come. So I was like, this is my chance. I'm like me. And I brought the other foreign guy called Juan, and he was my boy because we were both kind of outcasts. Because he travelled from Spain for trials. I dragged him. I said, come, we're going. I must have gone over there. My boy Dom Napoleon, he was in the first team at the time. So he was like, when he saw me coming over, he was like, because he's known what I've been going through for the past few months, like I'm not being able to play. So then there was 3v3, and all I remember is going, like, Sanchez, you got to play like your life depends on it.
Exactly.
And all I remember is every single, I don't know if you play ball, if you ever have, every single touch was on point, every skill came off, every shot went top corner, every left foot finish whipped, and I was on fire. And then I remember my boy Dom just cheering, and then the gaffer, the more recent gaffer after the old guy left, Neil Warnock, stopped the session. And he pulled me and he was like,
where have you been?
Literally, And I told him briefly, and he was like, mate, he's like, Dom's told me what you've been going through. Listen, I'm not gonna promise you anything, but all I'm gonna do is give you a fair shot. That was a Thursday. The Friday I trained with the first team in the morning. So imagine going from training with under 15s and not my team. The managers, the players, and I seen Sanchez's name, first team. Then the Friday, after I train with the first team, the squad goes up. So when you walk in, there's a boot area and there's a massive whiteboard. And it says the name from the keeper to the thingy. And he says, all of them. I've gone into the changing room with my team. And then I can't remember who it was, but someone's bursting like, Sanchez, what's going on? Like, you in the first team squad? I was like, whatever. I'm not going to play for the 21s for the past 3 months, 4 months, like dog. And I went out and said S Payne. I couldn't believe it. But my point is, after that, the same people that turned their back on me had to end up being
friendly.
Because I had to sign papers, I had to do this, and I was like, oh, you remember
the
face now? And there's only a few people that really stay true to me. Those people know who they are. These people, I don't want to name names etc. But people like Lucy Ward, and there's people, in and around stuff that had my back throughout and supported me. There's not much they could do, but they definitely supported me. But Yeah, it was a madness, boy. Roller coaster of emotions. Then I ended up being against Nottingham Forest, 25,000 people at Ellen Road, and I'm on the pitch. I'm on the pitch of Ellen Road, and it's something that no one can ever take that away from me.
No, exactly. And like obviously for the up and coming ballers out there, like what is that feeling like having your first professional game in the first team squad? You've come out, as you said, there's 25,000 people, and you know Leeds fans are not the quiet, shy away fans. They're in your face, brash. You get me? So
they're one of the most brash. Listen, Leeds fans, you cannot mess with Leeds fans. They love football to the core. But obviously the situation was I was on the bench for the first team, so I never actually made my debut. So I never actually got a bit. But when I'm talking about even in the warm up, I remember the ball going into the corner, and I flicked it over my head and caught it just to go run back. Yeah. And I just had literally it was like a. Everyone just went, whoa! And I looked up and just the whole court was just full, and it was like a movie. Like, that's something that any professional footballer will tell you that their first time experiencing that is something they will never forget. And I don't think anyone will probably get used to it. But for the up and coming footballers, if you need any inspiration, for you to be able to get to that moment is unbelievable. It's like the same pitch, the same layout of a pitch that you've played on for years is then surrounded by 30,000 people at full capacity. It's ridiculous. Like it's nuts. The one thing I regret, not even regret, I just wish that I would have crossed that white line. I feel like my whole career would have been different. One of the things you say, did my 7-Up fuel me and what I'm doing? Regret is the biggest fuel for what I'm doing. Because I feel like with every opportunity I've got right now, if I look back and I say that I wish I did more, that would kill my soul. To the point where I'd be so disappointed in myself. And I even look back, and this is where I can be honest, like with Leeds United. When they say, he was the first person out in training, last one to leave training, I know that for a fact I did that. That's why with that, I've kind of made peace with it. That maybe wasn't written in my stars, because I was that guy like everyone got on with. I was the first one out in training. I used to set up and take out goals. I used to practice. I used to do that. I used to, take pride in my thing. I used to watch my tapes back. I did everything that I believe I could. Cool. In any other aspect of, like, for example, even with the team, like, okay, the only thing I didn't do that I should have done more is be more demanding of my position in the team. I should have been telling them, I should have knocked on the office every day after I've trained, or after, let's say I've played a game and I've scored 2 goals, I should have gone and said, right, look at what I've just done. You've told me I've not been good enough for the past whatever, I've just gone and done this. So I want to be starting. I demand that. Whereas now, if I get back into football to a level, that is never happened again. If I'm playing well, you're getting told it, and I will call. I'll be that annoying guy that bells you. The manager said, "Well, Sanchez is calling me again, man. I know what he's gonna say." Exactly. Yes, you do. Exactly. I've been playing well, but I'm still on the bench. What's going on? Give me a reason. Like
a valid reason to why I'm not on the team now.
And that's gonna be with everything. That's with let's say I do a part-time job or I get into anything, or if I'm in even with my events that I'm doing. If something's not right, we're having a conversation ASAP. It's not gonna be
dwell.
Yeah.
Then it gets to the point where it's sabotage now.
Why
is this not happening? You get me? It's too late.
The only thing I do get, the only reason why I am at peace with the Leeds United thing as well is because it was unknown. Above me there was like Aaron and then Micah Richards, and then there wasn't anyone really that got to that level around me. Like Andre was obviously at Bradford City then Liverpool, but we was going through the same thing together. So as far as experience goes, like now with my brother or with the younger generation, I can say where I go on, but for me personally, and Mike and Aaron were still playing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it wasn't like there was really someone to kind of be like, this is what you do. Like I'd gone from playing football in the street to next minute I'm having agents how have I got my mum's number, belling my mum saying we want to sign Sanchez. I'm just like, yeah, brother. I'm in Chinatown, like, bro, what the hell's going on? Like, my mum's like, how have they got my mum's number? Like, it got real, but it got real to the point where I wasn't prepared for it. And I had decisions where, in hindsight, I would have changed it. So, again, me trying to help my hood and my community, even though I was fully qualified, there was an agent and there was a black man from London. I was like, cool, I want to sign with you because I know I'm going to be good enough. If you've got the hookup and I'm going to play and we're going to both together. But at the same time, I had like Theo Walcott's agent, I had Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's agent, I had Legion. Well, this is another reason why my dad thinks I was sabotaged, because I had a guy who worked really close with Leeds United. So because I didn't sign to him, my dad feels like that's why they... Again, I'm naive. I was like, nah, it doesn't matter who I signed to, because the club's still going to love me. The club's going to appreciate that I'm a hard worker and I'm a good player.
then again,
it's all here and you don't know, but bro, when I just say it, just went. So, but yeah, man.
You made
Tough.
it. Exactly.
But
when you was, how did that come about? Firstly, because obviously the 7-Up one was when you was a little baby. I'm gonna try throwing a clip for the fans. Because even some people that showed it said, "Oh, who's this little cute guy?" Sanchez. And like,
what? Yeah.
That's not him. But you look pretty much the same anyway.
Yeah, when you actually
Yeah. How did it come about?
So that is an opportunity of a lifetime. My life is basically documented. No choice of my own. It's obviously my mum and dad had to okay it. But what happened is, and it's a funny thing, I thought it was quite an easy operation until 21 Up when I actually asked the producers, how did it actually happen and why have you chosen me? They had over 1,000 kids across the UK, and they basically, the documentary is based off of a previous one where they say scientifically 7 years is the perfect timing where everything changes. That's the time period. So this one was everyone that was 7 in the year 2000. Every 7 years, you're going to come back and either ask the same questions and basically see wherever you are living. So with me, they came to my school and I was just picked to take them around the school to show them all the other kids. But then they end up just taking a liking to me. Now, what we was meant to be me and my sister, but she's only a year above me in school years, but she's technically two years, so she's too old for it. But I picked it perfectly. But I was meant to be like the inner city kid. So they've got someone from like Cambridge, for example. Then they've got an inner city white family in Manchester, then they've got a black family in London, and they've got an Asian family in Scotland that have different levels of, I'm not saying poverty, but like, you know, like rich, poor. Exactly. So they've got every demographic and seeing what these kids at 7 think, and ask us what they think of government, what's our thoughts on love, what's our thoughts on dreams, goals, finance, etc. And they ask the same thing at 14 and 21 whilst documenting the life. So it's scheduled to go up until 63. So my life from age 7 to 63 is going to be documented. And
so would you say that's another motivating factor for you to keep on what you're doing and keep striving to be the better version of you? Would you say that helps?
It definitely is, because I know that every 7 years I'm going to be on television. So at 14 I kind of knew and understood it, and 21 I did a lot to prepare for it, in the sense of I made sure I brought in as many people as possible. So I made sure they went to football. I made sure they went to, so Jordan Lennon, who's now DJ now, he had an event on, so I made sure we went to his event, and it was at Oracle, because I knew the people at Oracle. I made sure that we got a clip with my man them, so we all, I told them, the producers, that I told my boys that, and I want it on there to show this is a group of black people that are all doing well and doing stuff.
They're not the stereotypes.
So again, same with Leeds United, anything I do, I try to promote that as much as I can. And but the funny thing about that, which you touched on, for other people it's the other way around. So a lot of people dropped out because they were nervous of how life would be looked at, because they know it's going to be on TV. So people dropped out because the fear of inadequacy. And wasn't is my life going to be interesting enough? Are people going to judge me, or what people going to say? And a lot of people dropped out. So I think we started, like, let's say 28 kids. I think we're down to in the teens, I'd say.
Serious.
Yeah.
So how does, like, in terms of how it works, like, so obviously it goes each 7 years. They record you. They do your goals. Like in the very first one, I remember you saying, like, the key point that got to me when you was a kid, you sat on the floor and I was like, oh, so what do you want to be when you're older? And you was like, I want to be a star.
I get killed for that oh my god,
but it's a good thing, but you don't understand like how sick that is in terms of your life and where it's got you to. You said at 7 I want to be a star.
Yeah, and I'm not doing
You're not
too
far
bad.
off. You get me? You're a star in Leeds, so that's a start. You get me?
I'm doing okay.
You get me? It's worked, you get me? And like how the universe works at such a young age, because you're so innocent and stuff like that. Like,
who even says that?
As a 7-year-old, you don't say you want to be a star, or you don't say you want to be like...
Well, they asked me where I want to live, and I said London or Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what do you want to do in Hollywood? Be a star?
Exactly.
I'm like...
like normal children wouldn't have said that. They would have gone with a job like one of their family members are doing. They see it all the time.
Yeah, policeman, fireman.
Yeah, exactly, a general thing. Like, it takes a lot for a kid, especially a 7-year-old child, to say, I want to be a star. and you're pushing in the right direction to make it happen.
And the funny thing is that I think that kind of happened by accident, but also it was always going to happen. I had my mum who was always very creative, and she was the kind of woman, you come home from school, you have a set, like you've got your fruit, little sandwiches, and then it's artwork, like do something that's gonna, you're not sitting in front of the TV, you're always doing something. And then you've got my dad, who was a professional dancer, which is quite unheard of, big tall black man from the ghetto, who's travelling the whole world dancing. So I'm seeing every single day creativity and people pushing boundaries. And I feel like that just rubbed off on me. To me, that was the norm. Like, try something, go for your goals, go for your dreams. And I was very impressionable of like Disney, and I used to watch stuff like, what was the thing that I used to watch? Not Aristocrats, or there was a film where there's a guy who all he wants to do is be a star. I remember at some point, I will have to bring it back to it. But Cats Don't Dance. It's called Cats Don't Dance. I promise. If anyone wants to YouTube it and see it. It's about this cat who's from the ghetto. He's got crusty clothes, whatever, but he's got charisma, he's charming, and he's passionate, and he'll do whatever he needs to do to go to Hollywood. That's why he said Hollywood as well. And he basically breaks down barriers, and he just proves everyone wrong, and he then becomes his biggest star, and he makes his family proud. It's actually a cool movie, but stuff like that used to resonate with me. Like, why not go for your goals? And I feel like from 7 to then going into Leeds United at such a young age, that kicked off the fact that this could happen. So then when other opportunities came, like radio, like other TV shows, or like the events and stuff, it was just natural to do stuff that a lot of people probably wouldn't. Even my dad would say to this day, he was a professional dancer, danced with Ashanti, George Michael, all that. But he would be like, I don't know how you got the confidence to kind of go and do that. Because I was like, well, if I've got it, it's just that I'm going to use it.
And it comes from your surroundings, as you said, like your dad's a professional dancer from the hood.
Yeah.
Them two things wouldn't go together normally.
But man, I'd be getting on to him, like, bro, are you bad? Your man want to be a dancer? But he was like, bro, he's 6 foot whatever odd, man.
You can't tell me, no. You get me, what you're saying, you get me?
And then the other point of it is that at the time, people could have said whatever, but when you see him at the Mobile Awards dancing with Ashanti,
then it's like, oh, that's my guy.
Exactly.
You get me?
So I've never been phased to kind of do stuff that people would seem
different,
called weird. Yeah, I mean, even in my friend circle, there's a lot of times where close friends would, when stuff that I do, say, oh, bro, that's weird, that's this, or why you. But I'm like, bro, I'm doing me, and
you get me.
Yeah, like take it or leave it. And the same way you'll have a few people saying that when whatever that thing's doing pops off or gets noticed by other people, or you get out start feeling or whatever, it's back to
it's cool
yeah.
I remember when Sanchez first started, I was pushing him,
all this stuff, bro.
Like,
so it's natural, bro. So yeah, from a young age, man, 7 years old, big dreams.
That's serious. So on to like the 7, 21 up, like in that is where it comes on to my next question about your relationship with your dad. Because for me, and like a lot of, well, obviously it's not quite the same for me, because obviously my dad was always there and he was around and I had access to him when I needed, and we could chat, we could do whatever. But it was more like, he's my dad, he's a serious guy, I'm not going to just go up to him and try have fun and do this, that and the third. Like, your relationship with your dad is the polar opposite. You and your dad are like best friends, buddies, you get me? And even in the 7 and 21 up,
you can see that.
You can see it clear as day. Like, even when he was talking about the Leeds United thing, and he was saying that obviously it disheartened you, rare, and you seen when you come from like a training session when he was in Potty Park, and he was walking back up the hill.
Yeah.
He was even talking together, like he's putting his arm around you, he's doing this, that, and the third, and obviously he's taking you to the dance classes that he was running back in the day.
7, yeah.
Like, what is it like having a relationship like that with your dad?
You know what it is? It's so special and it's not taken for granted. The funny thing is, because it's been normal to me, I love it so much, but it's when you see that it's not normal at all to most other young black boys, I cherish it so much, and I can't wait for him to have my own kids, and I'm going to be that even more so, because it's so rare. And this is a bit why I'm quite a big brother to a lot of young people. Are trying to bring so with like my little brother, and they're his boys, and my people's, like, I'm their elders, and you know, it's crazy because he's such a role model. He's got that likability, he's been all over the world, he's loved by everyone, and for him to be my dad is just so cool. But for us to be able to hit the secret to it was that I was quite good in like school and stuff whatever. So we kind of bypassed the disciplinarian. I respected him, he respected me. So therefore it wasn't necessarily far on somewhere. It had to be like da da da. It was more like, okay, we get more time to chill. So next minute we're going on long drives, and next minute we're talking about stuff that can be spoken about because you're taking away the fact that I've got to be a parent and discipline you. So that happened from a young age where we just bonded. So I know he used to tell me like if it was him and his man them, they'd be in the back and I'd be in the car seat in the front, and we'd be driving around, and he'd talk to me. Here's another thing that I noticed that why we're so cool. He'd talk to me from a young age, not even like an adult in the way that he's saying inappropriate stuff, but he'd always speak to me. And we'd have a conversation rather than not just, I'm your dad, shut up, listen. Which sometimes the older generation might be like, because they're old school, they're coming from back a yard.
Exactly, that's how they got brought
Shut your mouth, listen, and missus. Whereas it's always a conversation. And then from that, man, our friendship was developed. And we're the same person. Like, there's times where people will look at me and they're staring at me. I'm thinking, why is this person staring at me? And they're like, who's your daddy? I'm like, you know my daddy. It's hand. But
that's the worst.
It really is special. I'm lucky enough to have a relationship with my dad, because a lot of young black people, I'm being very specific in that because it is the case where they don't have that. They don't have the role model. So, for example, even in how to treat women, even in learning how to cook, even how to approach myself, mannerisms.
Yourself in it rather than getting taught how to.
A lot of people, and that's where people go wrong, and nothing go wrong. Like people go to the streets and stuff because they find a father figure in anything they know.
Exactly.
Which is
if
tough.
There's someone that's showing them something, they take that on as a father figure, even though it's not actually a father figure for them, because they're showing them a little bit of love. And they're still disciplining them to some point, not like how the dad would like, I'll beat you or whatever. Obviously that doesn't happen these days. But back in the day,
might need to go back though.
Anyway. Some of these kids would, they won't be able to last. So how did you get into hosting? Because you've hosted quite a few events in Leeds.
Some big ones.
And you moved to Ibiza. And you was doing it there too. So how did you start in Leeds first? We'll go from there.
It all came off the back of being at Leeds United meant I had a lot of free time and I was starting to build up a bit of a profile. And I'm the kind of person to say yes and kind of like learn how to do it later. Like if someone says, Sanchez, or you got again kids that are looking up to you as far as what you're doing, do you want to come and speak at school? Of course, I don't know what to talk about, but I'm coming and speak. Then networking, word of mouth. Someone else will say, oh well, you're speaking there, do you want to come speak at high school? Yeah, of course I'll do that. Okay, well we've actually got an event for young footballers. Do you want to come and would you come mind hosting it? Okay, what does it entail? Okay, cool. Then naturally, that's me. I'm a people's person, so I'm laughing, joking, but I'm also passionate about it. So I'm giving it my everything and saying da 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 da, and then there'll be someone else in the background saying, "Oh, by the way, we're doing this. Could you do that?" And that's how literally it evolved out of nowhere. Where I was just the person that I used to get phone calls. There's an event happening. Do you want to come and talk and host on it? And then obviously that blew up massively when I got opportunity with Heather Nelson to host an unsigned event where it's basically local talent get a chance to perform on the stage in front of people, which is amazing. And from that, there was a BBC Radio Leeds producer just in the background floating. Then I got emailed after that saying, listen, BBC Radio Leeds are having a big revamp, they're changing their evening shows, giving it back to the community, and they want to have new faces, want to make it more cultured basically. And I went in for an audition, and then I got it. So, and then that was quite late on, because before that I hosted for BBC Radio 1 Extra when they came to Leeds. I've hosted at West Yorkshire Playhouse, I've got your Leeds Ballet, Millennium Square, Civic Hall. Like I've done all this stuff, but it's all through word of mouth now. What I'm going to be doing in 2020 moving forward is now finally putting myself out there and gathering all the stuff I've done. And I'm going to start saying to people that you need me to host your shows because I'm going to smash it and this is what I need to do, It's a great position to be in because I get to impart a bit of myself in the audience, but also I know how much passion I have for that role. So whatever your brand is that you're getting me in to host, I know that it's in safe hands. I'm going to promote it, I'm going to gas the crowd up, I'm going to do that because of what I bring to the table. So
100%.
And the feedback's been amazing. That's why things come. If you put your heart and soul into it, You know, it started from hosting in a room of a few kids to, you know, the most I've hosted was 1,000 people in Millennium Square.
That's serious.
Yeah, so that was all mad. And then how Ibiza happened, funnily enough, is I took a step back from football. I took a step back from hosting. I was just about doing my radio show, and then everything just went tits up, basically. I got injured from football. When I finally started to get back into it, I was like, right, I've rearranged my work schedule so I can play Saturdays again. I spent 2 weeks doing madness getting fit. I spent like a week on trial at this team on good level. And the day that I was told they wanted to sign me, I ruptured my Achilles. Ankle gone, bust open, 9 months out, 6 to 9 months out, 6 months they recommend, but they said 9 months if you can. 3 months exactly. And then because I couldn't drive to work, I had a big I just got a promotion, so I was in my probation period. Couldn't get to work. They asked me to work from home. I told them I wasn't mentally stable to do that because the first time in my life I was in a position where I couldn't get myself out of this hole. Like the sunken place. I don't know if you've seen Get Out. I was literally in that. Everything's working. I can see the blinkers are on, but in my head I'm just like, what's going on? I'm a good guy, because then I replayed everything that I got myself out of, from Leeds United, from the this, the that. Like, why is things not going my way? I'm a good person. I get on with everyone. I try my hardest, and things just keep going wrong. And then I couldn't get out. So then with work, I told them I'm not able to do it because I'm not able to deal with figures, facts, and all this. I can't. So let me just have my sick, which I'm allowed in out, and I'll come back. And then 2 Tuesdays I get a message saying, oh, well, we've seen you out at Costa and doing your radio and doing this and that, but you can't work from home. And I was like, so what? Because I'm injured, I have to be depressed and sit in my house all day. Yeah, exactly. I can go up the road and go to Costa. I can go get a taxi and then go sit behind a microphone for an hour. Of course I can. Dealing with facts and figures and people's money from 9 to 5, unfortunately, I'm not ready to do that. You've not asked about my mental health. You've not asked about my ability to work. You've not asked about me as a person. You just see the fact that you need help in your job. And that was all it was, which is fair, which I understand, but
it's not the right way to treat people.
It's definitely not, and it was really disheartening. And again, I was like that, and I just went. I remember after a few days, I just went, right, this world doesn't owe you nothing. If I'm in this bed another week, life will go on. Sanchez Paynes will just be forgotten and be, oh, what happened to him? So then, getting to the Ibiza, I started applying for loads of random stuff. I got in touch with like an agency who kind of put yourself out there for different things, and an email popped up saying that Ibiza rocks are looking for a job and you should apply for it. And then I seen it, I was like, so Ibiza rocks, concerts, BBC Radio 1 Extra, Merky Fest Stormzy, working in the VIP in the sun in Ibiza for a summer. Me, Mr Networking, oh my god, I thought, this is okay, this is my calling. And I remember I applied for it, I applied for literally like 50 other stuff, for modelling agencies, like all this stuff. And then they got back to me and it was just like, I need to do this. It got so to the point where they thought I was already on the island, but I wasn't. So they was like, right, we absolutely love you, we want you here, but you're not here yet. So we need to sort this out, like because people are quite flimsy. If they're not already there, they might go to. And I was like, listen, I'm going to show you how dedicated I am. So that was on the Friday we spoke. I booked a flight that night and I flew out on the Saturday and surprised them. I said, I'm here. I said, can I speak to Michelle? I was like, yeah, well, sorry, who's it? It's like Sanchez Paynes. I was like,
bro, we're just speaking to your FaceTime.
And I was like, these shows, but even still then, I still had to go through 3 very intense interviews with the bosses, and they grilled me because they was like, we're just very scared that it's all talk, and when I got over there I thought they told me they love me, so but then they must have changed their mind or whatever it was,
and then shocked them so much,
and then when they finally told me I got the job, I just knew that this was my reason, that I've gone through all that rubbish, all this stuff back home. And it ended up being the summer of my life. I ended up speaking to every celebrity possible. I spoke to some amazing people. I was in the sunshine every day. Got the vitamin D from that sunshine. I was a better person. I was waking up to the beaches. I was going to sleep to beautiful, sunsets. And the friends and the networking and the morals and mindset that I came back with has just set me up for life. And that's why I've come home to graft this winter. And then, I'm telling you now, the next few years, I don't know how much of Leeds I'm gonna be seeing. Literally, bro. So
gonna have to change your name to Mr Ibiza.
Mr International. That's literally what I've said. Yeah. So I'm the Mr Leeds.
You see, this is what I like to see. You get me? Like people with a strong mindset who know what they want, and like even like what you just said, like you spiral back into like a depressive phase.
Yeah, 100%.
Where you thought, why is this happening to me? Why, like, I'm a good person, why is the universe giving me these cards? And then you thought, nah, let me just snap out of that and get back into it, and the universe opened its arms to you, you get me? Like, a lot of people would have stayed back in that depressive phase and just sunk even further, and it would have made it a lot harder to get out of. Like, having... Like, this is one of the mantras that I lived by last year, and that I'm gonna live by for the rest of my life. Like, it's one thing that I learned in my sales job, and it is exactly what you did. People don't know how much you care until you show them. So obviously, you was on the phone, gassing it up, just giving them everything. I was like, nah, this guy's just any guy. He is good. Don't get me wrong. He's a sick guy, but he's not.
It sounds good.
You get me? It's all dreams, isn't it? I'm on the fly. I'm here.
I'm on the door.
Bro, I'm not even ready for this. This is probably why they had to go through these extra interviews, because it's like, bro, have we sold this guy a dream? Yeah. Has he sold us a dream?
I told them I'm coming, and I was like, okay. But in my head, I still don't think they believe me. But I'm like, I'm coming.
Them type of things, when you actually put the graft in and you like work your ass off, the universe will give it back to you eventually. It's just a case of it's testing you to see how long you're actually willing to put this grind in. Are you willing to go through this hard time for so long to reap the benefits of what you actually want? Because the reward that I'm going to give you is massive. Exponential. You get me? Stupid big. If you're just dwelling on this little downtime that I'm giving you, you're not even ready for that. So I'm going to make you wait an extra bit.
Well, there's two things that speaks on that. There's a picture of two guys with like a hammer. And one of the guys is like this. He's gone all this way in his tunnel and he's walking away, and this other guy that's still going, and the guy that's walking away is about 2 chucks of his hammer from hitting all the diamonds. You've seen it, and it's literally that, like, you don't know how close you are. And here's the other point. Well, there's another two. There's a saying that I love where it says the difference between ordinary and extraordinary is that little bit extra.
Just put that negative to the side. Pressed on. And you would have
dealt with it afterwards.
Exactly. You don't have to dwell on it. It's happened. There's nothing that you can physically do to change it. It's attitude over the problem. If your attitude's over the problem or higher, like on the scale chart, if you put your attitude above the problem,
there's nothing you can achieve.
Affect you. So like, things like that. But like that type of mindset's sick. Like, I actually value people that have a strong mindset like that, because there's not a lot of people out there. As you said, a lot of people like to be comfortable, like to have the secure 9 to 5, like to have the basic wage where it's coming every month, they can pay what they need to pay, they can provide for their families, do what they need to do with their kids, right, it's all good. But there comes to a point where obviously they live in regret. Like, most of, like, even with like my family and like other people that I know who are at a higher age in life, like, they always have a story of what they could have done or where they could have been. And because they was chilling out and they was drinking and partying, it didn't happen. And it's like, I don't want to be that same person where I'm at the family drink-ups and I'm saying this, that I could have been
years time.
I could have done my podcast, I could have done this and that. And just a lot of people are trying to live older people's lifestyles at a young age because of Instagram and social media. To see all these older guys and older women just living their life in Ibiza, spending mad cash, just living, you get me? But they don't understand that they've sacrificed to get to that point where they're able to do that and live and go back and do it again. You get me? You're going to do it once, you'll be broke for the whole year.
And struggle and try to get back on your feet. And here's the thing that I always say to people, look, at 40 years old, I will still look smooth and my body would feel great in a Range Rover. Literally. That Range Rover seat will still feel as comfortable at 40 years old. Humble yourself, get the little run around that you need, and get your stuff off the ground. You're paying £300 a month for a vehicle, but that money could be going on equipment and stuff. Don't complain. But everyone's thinking, you're doing well because you're flashing, you're doing it. But more time that could be invested, and then in 2 years' time,
if you put down that £3 a month, look look how much money you'd have.
I came back here, and one of the first things I did is sold my car to invest in my events. We just had a New Year's event that actually popped off. I could buy the car back if I wanted to, but I'm not gonna, because I'm like, right, when's my next free events? So I'm gonna triple that.
Yeah.
And then then I'm going to Ibiza anyway, and by the time I come back,
different lifestyle.
Yeah, and it's like a year's gone by like that, and because of that decision of investing into it, it's paid back tenfold already, and it's just not even the tip of the iceberg. So it's just about making it come true, man, and not stopping that grind. And then I'm excited. I'm excited to see what comes, man.
I'm excited for you, my friend. I'm excited for you. So while we're on the topic of mindsets and mindfulness and keeping strong and stuff like that, because I put out a post the other day, like what are people's goals and stuff. A lot of the goals and feedback that I received was more having a strong mindset and how to progress like in a positive way. What are like your top 5 tips, let's say, to do that?
Oh, okay, to break into top 5. So being honest, be very honest with yourself and your surroundings. I could say be humble. That probably works into the same thing. If you're not honest with yourself and what's going on, if you're looking at yourself in the mirror and don't like what your body looks like, yet the times that you've scheduled to go to the gym, it's I can't make it this time, or I'll do something, or I've not really done it. Like I've been like that. Be very honest with yourself. Don't be trying to say that the world owes you anything when you're not putting in the work as well. If you're, talking about, if you've seen other people that are progressing around you, but you know that person wakes up at 8 a.m. every month. They start work at 10 o'clock like you do, but they wake up at 7:15, so they go gym for an hour and then do something, and then they study at their job, and that's why they got the promotion. Be honest with yourself and know that that's what it takes to get to where you want to be. Research. By research, I mean if it's people that I could tell you to follow, which is straight away Gary V, great person to follow. People like Will Smith on Instagram. Go out there and look for people in the field of what you want to do, or people that can maybe spark a thought process in your mind to help you with your mental health thought process and how to develop it. Thirdly, I would say, kind of touch on research, but education. Read books. A lot of things is televised and YouTube, which is great. You can use all those outlooks, but read. Like if you go on to say the bestsellers of what books help with my mental state, there's one called The Chimp Paradox that basically makes your problems into a physical being, so you can actually see it, and you can then see it, get angry, sad, adjust it, and you can actually communicate with it. There's a thing called Rich Dad Poor Dad, which is about really big book, which
Kiyosaki.
Yeah, and it's got a lot more of them, but that one was a big one for me, and how you've got two perspectives of people trying to do good for you, but one saying this, one saying that, and they're both kind of right in a way, but it's like it just opens your mindset to how you think. Them together. And that's what he did. He took the thing from that side. Like for example, one of the I don't want to get the message wrong, but like the poor dad was saying, get your 9-to-5 job, you have money, you still have this amount of that. But this one like, bruh, F that, go risk that and look, and you'll make X amount back. And they're both saying, because we want the best for you. He was saying, I want this the best for you because it's tried and tested. He's like, I want the best for you. No one's doing this. I've done it. Hardly anyone's doing it. That's why it will work. So it's like, there's another one which is a really good thing for mental health, but also to kind of help you develop as a person. And it's called, I think it's called 90 Ways to Speak to People. And it's got so many tips. It's stuff that I was already doing naturally that I thought, oh, I do that. For example, there's one, it's called The Appropriate Smile. And it's, let's say you're in a full room of people. If you was to walk in and you're just grinning ear to everyone, like that, and you're thinking that's what everyone wants to see, it's not because it looks fake.
Exactly.
The little tip would be, let's say I've come here, I've sat down, then I look at you, we make eye contact, and then I'm smiling, I'm like, yeah, how you doing? You're good? And then if I'm introduced to someone else, I'm like, how are you? So, and it's like, what it does subconsciously, it makes them feel like that smile's just for you. If I'm like that, it's a bit like the president who's like, and it's just like, and it's just little stuff that's like, bruv, that's actually mad, because communication is what you say, how you say it, and body language. And it's like, they'll teach you about eye contact, the difference between staring to the point where it's creepy, or to the point where if I'm looking at you and I'm intrigued, and I'm listening, and even the little noises, in the book, I listen to audiobooks. I keep saying it says, but it reads. It says like little things like yeah. Okay, or even if you were to say, oh, I went to football today. Oh, football? What? I've not been in football. Yeah, I tried some really nice food. And oh, really? That food's not... Like, commenting back on what that person says, because they're thinking, boy, Sanchez is listening to what I'm saying, you know, he's hearing me. And it's such a clever thing to put you in how to work the right rooms and how to... You know, like I said, everything came from me from networking and stuff. It's those things that... difference between Sanchez and... Jacob, why do I get the email? Why do I get the thing? It's because of those mannerisms, and when it's done genuinely, it's massive. So being honest with yourself, being humble, looking for role models, educating yourself, and being understanding that it happens. I think a lot of people, when it comes to them wanting to develop their mental strength and mental capacity, they want to. A lot of times with the black males, they don't want to admit that it happens, and they don't want to admit, they see it as a weakness, and they see it as, you know, everyone else seems to be okay, but they're forgetting that Instagram and social media, people are only posting when they're happy and look good and filtered and stuff. People don't post their bad times or their failures.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's why everyone, because if you look at that, people will be like, why am I the only one stressed? They've just come back from holiday, I've just seen her looking, her body's snatched and she looks good, and they're in a happy relationship. But same with that relationship, they're not telling you that they've just had a fight and, you know, someone's done dirt.
He got kicked out last night.
Yeah, he got kicked out last night, and then they've made up this morning, but still he don't like the mum and they don't like this. That body that you've seen has been filtered, put in, but she's still subconsciously posted the picture and she's crying because one person didn't like the comment. That you're not seeing that stuff, so people think that everything else is hunky-dory, and it's like, these problems shouldn't be happening to them. Why is it? And the truth is, it happens to everybody. So first of all, you know, you have to acknowledge that there is an issue. If you dismiss it and try to push it on the carpet, that's worse. So you have to understand that it's okay to have this, but the next step is to do something about it. So I think that was 5. So be honest, be humble in it, research and find your idols, educate yourself, and understand that, you know, it happens to everyone, and it's about what you do about it.
There's a good couple. There's a good 5 tips there. I'm not gonna lie. You have to eat stuff.
Some gems in there, hopefully.
Exactly. Nah, a lot of people can take on, and hopefully a lot of people use them in their actual life, because it's all well and good, because that's the difference. A lot of people hear what you're saying, but do you actually hear what they're saying? And what I mean by that is, it's alright listening, so I could just listen to Sanchez and just hear what he said, but am I gonna now hear what he said, adopt it, use what I can from
implement it
into real life? You get me? That's the difference. So hear what my man said. He's giving me some real gems there, you get me?
Sweet.
So the next topic I'm going to talk about, is a bit of a skeptical one. I think I know you know what I'm going to ask you next, but like when
I'm scared, go on.
Nah, don't be scared, man.
It's all good.
It's happened, innit? You get me? I've seen, obviously, your vlogs with your ex-partner.
Yes.
Now, what happened? I've got to ask, what happened?